Hey yo, what is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we're here with the 2K21 Next Gen Gameplay Report number 2. So, we're going through it. We already did number 1. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll find it and put the link in the description down below so you guys can check that out to fully understand what's going on. And if you guys don't know what these Next Gen Gameplay Reports are, it's just Mike Wang giving us a blog about what they have changed between the current gen and next gen of 2K21. And it's cool, there's some nice things in the last video, like new changes to the shot stick, to passing, and things like that. So check that out, and we have this one as well. Also, we get some new looks into the gameplay as well to see some more of the graphics, seeing different people, and I think it's actually pretty cool that they're doing this. So for the first one, it's going to be interesting. We have new dribbling movement. The dribbler was rebuilt from the ground up for next gen, and the differences is night and day. Now, I don't like when they tell us that the differences is night and day. Like, not too many of the people that play the 2K and actually make it really know what they're doing. But we have, no unwanted turns or having your player face the wrong way, no bursting up to speed or failed cuts. It just works. Again, I'd like to see that for myself. I'm not exactly going to take the word on it. And it's built because using the same engine as the Pro Stick dribble system, movement and moves work cohesively together. Player speeds are more accurate to real life, and the sense of weight feels more realistic. It's a complete package, and I don't think I can overstate how much elevated my enjoyment of playing the game is. So for a lot of people that are dribble heads, this sounds good, it sounds exciting, but I don't want to take too much out of what 2K is actually saying in a lot of these blog posts, because they're going to hype it up, they're going to tell us how great everything is, so it's going to be interesting to actually see if that's how it works. But from what we've seen, a lot of it, the dribbling does look pretty realistic, the movements do look smooth, but if they're actually going to feel smooth, that's the big question that we're going to have. Defense and off-ball, all non-dribbling movement from on-ball defense to off-ball offense and defense is run by our motion engine, which is in its 3rd year of development. They've been working tirelessly. That's great for them. Here are some upgrades that we have. Unique contextual movement assets for various basketball situations, transition stops, leak out, guard break, anchor space perimeter, bringing awareness to the look of the players on the floor and give them more life. We have improved pathing and cuts to make defenders feel more grounded and fix a lot of sliding from previous generations. I mean, that's something that's even in the current gen that you can feel. On defense, if you're holding the L2 button, it still feels like you're sliding around everywhere. Players that have high speed, for me, usually play worse defense just because they move around so quick and just slide everywhere. So maybe that's going to be something that was good. Overall improvement to motion stability and response. We've smoothed out the twitchiness, and players can move more accurately following exactly what you're doing on the sticks. Interesting. Updated player size detection logic and greater emphasis on player differentiation. Big moves like big guards, and guards move like guards. Okay, interesting. Includes a lot of new animation context to support signature motion styles. Left stick taps allow you to play quick steps, which are really helpful when you need to make subtle adjustments to your defensive position. So it seems like they're really trying. They love the taps, man. They love the light taps, the slow taps, the taps and everything. But we're going to be able to make adjustments to our, position on defense, which is, again, cool. Now, the thing with it is we move a lot on defense already, and I do feel like defense definitely needed a big work, but with a lot of these things, when things have been just revamped from what they used to be, we all know 2K has a way of making things go too far in a certain extent. So if that's going to be the case again, it's going to be something different. Again, I don't like believing everything that they do say in a lot of these, because it may sound good, but how great is it actually going to be? Because obviously they're going to hype it up for us. But foot planting. Sliding in basketball is no good, but it's something we've had to live with in the past because of limitations in technology. Takes a huge leap in that department. Rewrote our foot planting tech from scratch and led to be one of the most striking visual improvements when you compare next gen to previous generations. Interesting. I mean, we can't see with the Donovan Mitchell. It does look, cleaner. Definitely still moves his feet a little bit more than I would expect. You can see that back foot is still sliding a good bit, so it doesn't look the most realistic, but it looks better than 2K20. One at the current point. I mean, you guys know it. If you do a hop step or some sort of move in the triple threat, you can see that the player's feet move everywhere and travels every single time you try to do an up and under, anything like that, and it rarely ever is called. So hopefully with this new foot planting technology, that could be something that is changed for the better and actually makes sense. That's the one thing that I want to see, is if somebody actually travels in game and the feet aren't planted correctly, that should be something that's cool. So that's what I'm hoping at least to see out of this. Body ups, that's our internal name for all of the interactions between the ball handler and the defender. Well, obviously that kind of just makes sense. It's always a tricky balance trying to accurately model the cat and mouse game between offense and the defense. Our goal with the body ups was to highlight the improvements that we were able to make to both dribbling and defensive movements. To that end, it means less canned interactions and doing a better job respecting user control. So to me, this sounds like the heavy animation game that is 2K is saying that they've removed a lot of the forced animations and made them a little bit more realistic, which is interesting, I guess. Definitely don't know why Bradley beat. A lot of these guys are like holding the defender, like right there. Malcolm Brogdon holds on to him. He holds on to him right there, which like low key seems like it should be a foul. So I don't know if that's something that's gonna happen every time, but like low key, I don't think you can hold on to a player like that and still have it be defense. But let's see. When ball handlers get to the hip of the defender, but the defender matches well, it will lead to more realistic rides that neither player will feel stuck in. And on the other extreme, slow-footed or slow to react defenders will be punished with blow-bys if they're trying to force contact too late, might get hit with a blocking foul. So what it's sounding like is they're trying to make it less dependent on badges like clamps. Like obviously clamps will probably help you, but they're trying to make it a little bit less heavily dependent. Like, you cannot play defense if you don't have clamps at this current point in time, and maybe you can get away with not having clamps if you're quick enough to get in front of the defender and actually body them up. If you don't have clamps and you're way too slow to body them up, they're just going to blow by you every single time because you don't have any sort of clamps to help you with that. So clamps is probably going to be something that narrows down this extreme to, even if you haven't reacted as quickly, you can still body somebody up and play some good defense. So that is cool. It is nice. Again, I feel like clamps is one of the most overpowered badges, so removing the game's over-reliance on it could definitely be a pretty good thing. Off-ball contact, just like body ups, we wanted to translate those same principles into off-ball, so everything that we just, implied kind of goes here. Gone are the vacuum screens that have plagued basketball games in the past, where defenders would get pulled into a screen collision and run in a direction they weren't asking for. So if you guys have ever played twos in the park, if you guys are any of the park players that have played twos, you guys know that if you play twos, it is a screen, and that guy just sits onto the screen, hops around it until you finally get sucked into it, and that's it. If that is gone, that is a beautiful thing, because I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've been pushing towards the right to walk to the right side and follow the defender, but I get pulled to the left into the screen, and it completely kills the defense. So hopefully that's something that would happen, and that's a good change. If that's actually a change, it is beautiful, but again, we'll have to see, because like I said earlier, 2K is a very animation reliant game, so changing up animations to different animations still makes it animation reliant, and could just lead to us getting still pulled just to a less extent. We'll have to see. The impact engine. One of the biggest challenges we face when balancing offensive defense is contact in the paint. As you can tell with next gen, we really stress the importance of respecting user control and not warping defenders into place for the sake of game balance. But it's vital to be able to have reliable contact, especially for protecting the basket, in order to prevent bloated blocks in the paint. Interesting. The impact engine in next-gen console power gives us flexibility to do that. By creating reliable contact when players are in flight, we no longer have to take control of defenders while they are on the ground and pull them into place just to force certain outcomes. This will be just noticeable for paint defenders, as they will have the freedom to maneuver their players into position and make a play on the ball themselves, rather than the game dictating what happens based on whatever animations happen to trigger. So again, talking a lot about removing the heavy animation reliance. Now, it still low-key looks like Lauri Markkanen gets sucked into this play here. Like, I don't feel like this is a very good clip, because you can see Lauri Markkanen hops over and gets dunked on. Like, he hops over and gets dunked on. If this were Lauri in real life, he's probably dipping out of there, and he's not going to get on the under end of that Dwight Howard poster. Like, that's just how it works, man. That's a dumb move, because now you're clowned. So it still looks like it is a thing, because that's an animation that you see all the time in 2K. Somebody's going for a dunk, and it pulls your player in and gives them a free poster like that. So, like I said earlier, they're telling me all of these great things, but then if I actually watch this clip, it looks like that exact thing is still happening in the game. So I'm not exactly sure on here. On-ground contact also saw major upgrades, specifically with charge and block fouls. Beating the shooter to the spot and getting set will yield a lot more successful charge calls on offense, while being late will give you more blocking fouls. We've also added crashed layups for the situations where the shooter barrels into the defense, but a charge or block are warranted. So again, that is cool. I feel like there is a lot of times, especially in the paint, where you'll hold circle and somebody does a hop step, in the paint or whatever, hold B, and Giannis will hit you, for example, on this hop step, and it's a charge. It's not a charge, it's a blocking foul or nothing at all, and your player just falls. If these are a little bit more reliable, you probably will see an increase in the amount of times people are trying to get charges, which will make the gameplay, I guess, a little bit more sweaty and a little bit more annoying, but it's going to force you to actually focus a little bit more, play a little bit harder, which is cool. And the Ps5 Trigger Effect. Something that always excites us developers is the introduction of new hardware features that come along with new consoles. When we first heard about the PlayStation 5 adaptive triggers, the haptic effect, we immediately began brainstorming ways to use them to enhance the gameplay experience. As soon as we got our hands on the dev kits, our lead engineer experimented with several different prototypes. Yeah, you're just talking. I read this one earlier. So what this basically means is as you move around the court, you'll feel more and more resistance on the sprint trigger as your player energy drains. We'll also use adaptive resistance in the post game. Strong post players will feel very resistant on L2 when backing down weaker opponents, but you'll have to use more force to pull L2 when it's the other way around. So basically with the new adaptive triggers, you're going to feel your player getting slower, and you're going to feel the fact that you are weaker than the other player. So it might put more emphasis on the fact that you need a high strength to play in the post. It's going to have emphasis on stamina, which is going to be cool, and it might actually force some people to, use R2 a little bit less, but again, that's only going to work if the stamina system is accurately working, so we'll have to see. So it seems like that's all we have. A lot of changes to box outs, body ups, off-ball collisions, dev rides, finishing in the paint, a lot of cool stuff. Again, I love some of the things that they talk about, and if some of this stuff goes correctly, like the removing of over-reliance on animations, that is a great thing for 2K. It's something that's been needed, but we'll have to see if they actually add it. Let me know what you guys think about everything that happened in this, next gen gameplay blog number 2. I think we should be getting one next Wednesday as well, which is awesome, and I'll make sure to drop a video on that one as well. And I'm excited to talking to you guys about what you think about this. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10K subscribers. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.